Hi friends, iKargos is back with fortnightly international logistics news analysis for the second half of July 2025. This period was a perfect storm of geopolitical shifts, unpredictable trade policies and persistent operational bottlenecks. Today we will dive deep into how the industry's most experienced top freight forwarders and logistics companies were tested, and how the crisis revealed that proactive freight management is no longer a luxury, but a necessity for building a resilient supply chain. The geopolitical and policy-driven trade storm, the most significant factor defining this period, was a wave of unpredictable trade policy changes. The Trump administration's tariff policies, which had been a constant source of market uncertainty, were in full effect. The final week of July was particularly volatile, as a flurry of tariff-related news hit the wires. Let's break it down. We saw a new trade agreement announced with the EU, setting a 15% tariff structure for most imports. Almost simultaneously, the US imposed a significant 40% tariff on goods from Brazil, and finalized a new 15% rate with South Korea. This constant, relentless series of policy shifts created immense disruption, forcing shippers to hit the brakes on new orders as they assessed the new landscape. This policy-driven uncertainty had a direct impact on freight rates. According to data from Zenita, air cargo prices were already losing altitude, with most major trade lanes recording year-over-year rate declines. Drewry's World Container Index told a similar story for ocean freight, showing a sustained drop in early July as demand weakened. However, by the end of the month, a backlog of cargo, partly due to a surge of shipments being fast-tracked to avoid new duties, began to cause growing space constraints from Southeast Asia, leading to rate volatility on those specific lanes. But amidst the turbulence, there was a rare positive note. On July 24th, the new India-UK trade deal was signed, providing a boost for freight forwarding services on that key trade lane and offering a glimpse of stability in an otherwise chaotic market. Persistent port congestion and operational challenges. Policy was not the only hurdle. On the ground, major global ports continued to face severe congestion and delays, creating massive bottlenecks in the global logistics transportation chain. Europe's North European hubs were particularly hard hit. Rotterdam, Hamburg and Antwerp saw average berth waiting times soar to between 48 and 72 hours, sometimes even longer, were a perfect storm of their own. Summer peak season demand, persistent labor shortages and even strikes. In a unique twist, low water levels on the Rhine River exacerbated the situation, forcing shippers to shift from barges to more costly and less efficient road freight. To navigate this, astute freight forwarding services and providers of shipping logistics recommended creative solutions, such as using alternative ports like Felixstowe in the UK or Gdansk in Poland, or leveraging intermodal transportation solutions to bypass the most troubled spots. The congestion was not limited to Europe. In Asia, key transshipment hubs like Singapore and Port Klang in Malaysia were also battling vessel backlogs. This was a direct result of the earlier trade volatility with a ripple effect that created chaos weeks later. In South Africa, ports like Cape Town were facing their own operational challenges, made worse by severe winter weather. This truly was a global issue, highlighting the fragility of even the most established supply chain systems. The role of technology and strategic adaptations. In this volatile and unpredictable environment, technology and strategic decision-making became more critical than ever. The focus shifted from simply reacting to disruptions to proactively anticipating and adapting to them. The importance of digital freight forwarding and advanced logistics platforms was put under a spotlight. Companies were increasingly turning to AI-based tools for software development, with the goal of not just improving efficiency, but raising shipper expectations. This was further cemented by the US government's formal AI action plan in late July, signaling a significant push for AI deployment across all sectors, including logistics, to increase domestic capacity and resilience. The continued threat of high tariffs, especially on shipments from China, also accelerated a major trend. companies were re-evaluating their sourcing strategies. We saw a significant increase in businesses actively shifting manufacturing and sourcing to alternative regions like Southeast Asia, Mexico and Vietnam. This strategic move created new opportunities and new challenges for freight forwarding providers specializing in these emerging trade lanes. Conclusion. In summary, the second half of July was a masterclass in complexity for the logistics industry. The convergence of trade policy instability, operational bottlenecks and shifting market dynamics created an incredibly challenging environment. For businesses, the key takeaway is clear. The era of static reactive logistics is over. If you find our news analysis useful, please like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to press the bell icon. For any information, immediate help and prompt action for various segments of international logistics, such as freight forwarding, customs clearance, warehousing, certifications, imports and exports, inland transportation and supply chain related one-stop solutions and daily logistics news, visit www.iKargos.com.